If you live in Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, Kansas, Little Missouri, you got a slight risk of severe weather today. Alright everyone, so we can see we are severe weather risk for today. We can see we got a slight risk of severe weather in Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, Kansas, Missouri. We can see a margin risk in Illinois. We can see also part of Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Kansas, and Missouri. We can see also on here. So yeah guys, so let's move on to our tornado risk for today. Let me just pull that up real quick. Hold on, it's gonna just take 1 second. Alright, there's our tornado risk for today. We can see on here we got a 2% tornado risk for Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, Missouri. We can see also. Then let's pull up our wind risk for today. Alright, that's okay, there it is. There's our wind risk for today. We can see everyone, we got a 15% wind risk for Kansas, Missouri, Illinois. We can see we got blacked out lines. I mean, significant one we can see. Then we got a 5% wind risk in Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. We can see in Missouri too also. Alright, then there's our hail risk for today. We got significant one hail risk we can see in Nebraska and Kansas. That means we have potential for large hail today there. We got 15% hail risk for Iowa, Missouri. We can see then a 5% hail risk from Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois. We can see Kansas and Nebraska too. We can see also on here. Then we got our severe weather risk for Saturday. We can see we have slight risk in Ohio, PA, New York, Massachusetts for Saturday. Then we got a margin risk in Texas. We can see Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, West Virginia, Maryland. We can see in New Jersey. Then we get a margin risk. You can see in Montana. We can see in North Dakota and a margin risk in North Dakota and Montana. We can see also on here. So then we got our tornado risk for Saturday. We can see we got a 2% tornado risk for Ohio and PA. We can see also on here too, guys. You can see for Saturday on here. Time to look at our wind risk for Saturday. There's our wind risk for Saturday. We can see we got 15% wind risk for Ohio, PA, New Jersey. We can see. Then we got a 5% hail or wind risk for Illinois, Indiana, Missouri. You can see West Virginia, PA, New York, some of the New England states, Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas. Then a 5% wind risk for Montana, North Dakota. We can see then 15% wind risk for North Dakota and Montana. We can see. Then lastly, let's our hail risk for Saturday. We got 15% hail risk for Ohio, Pennsylvania. We can see we got a 5% hail risk for Iowa, Illinois. We can see West Virginia, Massachusetts, Maine, New York. Then we get a 5% hail risk for Montana and South Dakota, and then a 15% hail risk for Montana and North Dakota. We can see also on here. Alright, then we got our day very severe weather risk. We can see we got a slight risk in North Dakota. We can see for Sunday. We can see then a margin risk in South Dakota. Margin risk. We can see South Dakota, a slight risk in North Dakota, then a margin risk in Montana, Wyoming, Virginia, and Maryland. We can see then we got a huge typical thunderstorm risk for the most of the country. We can see on here also. Alright, then we can see our total severe risk. You can see we have 15% severe risk for North Dakota. We can see South Dakota. We got 5% severe risk. We can see in Wyoming and Montana. Then Virginia and Little Maryland. We can see also on here. Then we got something else to talk about. Then our day 5 severe weather risk. We can see we got a severe weather risk, 15% severe weather probability for North and South Dakota. We can see on here. Then we got a day 6 for Wednesday, June 10th. We got severe probability for Minnesota, 15% in North and South Dakota. We can see also on here too, guys. It's time to move on to our radar projections for today. Alright, everyone, so we got our radar projections for today, everyone. We can see this is 4 p.m. Looks like we have some storm sign to form in Texas and Oklahoma. We can see maybe some rain in New Mexico. We can see in some spots. And we can maybe see some storms up in North Dakota and South Dakota potentially, and maybe some potential rain coverage in Michigan or storm potentially in there too. We can see also at 4 p.m. today, but that says 5 p.m. because it's EDD time. It's 5 p.m. for Michigan and 4 p.m. for Oklahoma. Then 5 p.m. in Oklahoma, we can see got storm outs forming. We can see in Oklahoma, Colorado, Kansas. Then we can see on here we got more rain in Texas potentially. Maybe pop-up storms in New Mexico, Colorado potentially. That looks like a storm trying to form in Kansas, North Dakota, South Dakota. We can see, and maybe some storms in Michigan, potentially in Michigan Peninsula and Wisconsin. We can see on here. Then we got 6 p.m. we can see on here too. Looks like we got a storm in looks like we got a storm in Oklahoma. Sorry, I don't know what that was. So, all right, so we got we can see we got looks like a storm in Texas too. Looks like we got a storm in New Mexico too. Looks like we got a storm in Wisconsin and Michigan Peninsula. Looks like you see in Michigan. You can see we got some looks like some pop-up storms that we can see in North Dakota. Nebraska too. Looks like we got some rain. Maybe Kansas. We got a storm trying to form also in Oklahoma. You can see also on here. Then we can see 7 p.m. Looks like we got a storm in Nebraska, Wisconsin. We can see Michigan. We can see New Mexico. Some pop-up storms in Texas. We can see also on here. Looks like we got some rain in Illinois, Indiana. Some rain in Michigan. We can see maybe some storms in Michigan Peninsula, Wisconsin. We can see in Nebraska too on here. Then we got 8 p.m. coming along. We can see we got a storm forming in Nebraska, Iowa. We can see also on here. Minnesota. We can see Oklahoma, Texas. We can see we got storms also potentially down there at 8 p.m. tonight. We can see that we got storms in Indiana. See, it looks like we got 9 p.m. coming along. We got a line of storms in Nebraska and Iowa, Wisconsin. We got some storms in Minnesota, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan. We can see Oklahoma. We got some rain also, storms in Texas. We can see New Mexico. We can see also on here. Then we can see 10 p.m. coming along. We got a storm in Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska, Illinois, Indiana. We got rain. Storms in Wisconsin. We can see also on here. It looks like a storm in New Mexico potentially, and some storms potentially in Texas. Then 11 p.m. we can see we still got storms in Iowa, Texas. We can see a storm in Wisconsin, maybe some pop-up storms in Indiana. We can see Minnesota. Looks like we got some rain also. Then by midnight, we can see most of our storms are pretty much gone. We can see looks like we still got some storms in Texas, Iowa, Missouri to Minnesota, Wisconsin, rain in Michigan, rain in Illinois, Indiana. We can see also on here. Then 1 in the morning, we can see we got storms in Iowa, Illinois, Indiana. We can see Texas. We can see also on here. Then rain in Nebraska and Minnesota. We got some pop-up storms too. Then by 2 in the morning, we can see we have storms in Illinois, Indiana. We can see 3 in the morning. We still got some storms at 5, 6 in the morning. Or we still have storms overnight tonight too. It's looking like on here. Around 4 in the morning, we got storms in Illinois, Indiana. We can see, but this can change a bit before tonight. But just showing you guys what it could potentially happen. So let's look at tomorrow's radar projections now. All right, now we're shifting over to Saturday for Ohio, PA, Indiana, Michigan, New York, and some of the New England states. So this is 4 p.m. We can see looks like we have a pop-up storm in one of the New England states. Some pop-up storms trying to form in Pennsylvania. Looks like some light rain in Ohio in some spots at this point. So Ohio, we got Virginia, we got some maybe pop-up rain in Indiana. Then at 5 p.m. we start having storms starting to form in PA a lot, Ohio. You can see New York, some of the New England states, Massachusetts area, New Hampshire. We can see also on here. Then 6 p.m. comes along. It looks like a line of storms is trying to form in western Ohio. You can see Ohio. We got some storms. PA. We can see looks like some storms in Oklahoma down there. We can see on the left there. And looks like we got some storms in Massachusetts. No, not Massachusetts. New Hampshire and Vermont. We can see on here in Pennsylvania, and maybe some storms trying to form in New York too. Then 7 p.m. comes along. We got a line of storms in Ohio. We can see. Pennsylvania, we can see Indiana, even other parts of Pennsylvania, New York, we can see New Hampshire, Vermont, we can see even Maine also. And we can see 8 p.m. we got a line of storms in Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania. We can see in other parts of PA, New York, in other parts of New Hampshire, we can have maybe potential storms. We can see in Vermont, we can see also on here. You can see potentially. Then we can see 9 p.m. we got damaging winds potentially, hail we can see with this also, and a tornado dread on here low on tornado threat. But this could, I don't know, we gotta see what happens. It could go up tomorrow, we just gotta see. So, we can see on here, we got some storms in Indiana, Pennsylvania, looks like Massachusetts, we can see New Hampshire and Vermont, we can see also on here. Maybe storms in Oklahoma, we can see. Then we got 10 p.m. We can see we got a storm in Ohio, PA, Indiana. We can see New Jersey on here, New York, Massachusetts. We can see a potential rainstorm on there too. All right, then by 11 p.m. we can see on here also we got our storms are starting to go down. We can see it in Ohio, PA, New Jersey. We can see Illinois, Indiana. We can see also on here. We can see Massachusetts. Looks like we got some rain showers. We can see. And by midnight, most of our storms are gone. We can see mostly some typical thunderstorms here. Maybe one severe thunderstorm, maybe potentially in PA. We can see also in West Virginia we get some maybe rain, but that could potentially be a thunderstorm too. Still at midnight, we can see. Then by 1 o'clock in the morning, we saw some pop-up showers in Ohio, Indiana. We can see at 2. And then by 4 o'clock in the morning, everything's pretty much gone. It's just rain showers everywhere in West Virginia, Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, and the New England states. So let's talk about something else now. All right, everyone. So now we're gonna be talking about the warm temperatures this weekend and early next week. Hot temperatures, warm and hot temperatures. So we can see this is 1 p.m. on Saturday. We already got 90s. We got 90s in South Dakota, 90s in Colorado, higher 80s in Nebraska, 80s in Kansas. We can see 80s in Oklahoma, 80s in Texas, 87 in Kentucky, 87 in Tennessee, 85 in Mississippi, 84 in Alabama. We can see also at 1 p.m. on Saturday. And we got 4 p.m. on Saturday. We can see 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We can see on here. We got 90s in South Dakota. We can see 90s in Nebraska. We can see also 90s in Wyoming too. 90s in Colorado. 80s and 90s in Texas. You can see 80s in Illinois, 88 in Missouri, 88 in Iowa. We can see in some spots 90s in South Dakota and 90s maybe in North Dakota too. You see. We can see maybe even 95 in North Carolina, 90s in Maryland, 90s in New Jersey, 90s in Illinois, 90s in Kentucky, Ohio, we're in the 80s. We can see in some spots. All right, so let's move on to look at Sunday, guys. So this is Sunday at 1 p.m. We can see we have 90s in South Dakota. We can see 80s in North Dakota, 80s in Colorado, 80s in New Mexico, 80s in Texas, 87 in Louisiana, 89 in Kentucky. We can see also on here. Then we have 90s in North Carolina for Sunday potentially too, 80s in Ohio too. Then we can see around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You can see we're in the 90s in Colorado, 90s in Texas, the hundreds. Okay, moving on to Monday now. We can see we're 89 in Texas around 11 a.m. 80s in Kansas, 80s in Oklahoma. We can see 81 in Nebraska, 70s in Iowa, 80s in Arkansas, 80s in Louisiana. We can see also 80s in Tennessee. We can see also, so remember that's the time I'm showing you, it's my time zone, but it's 1 hour behind mine. So then we can see 4 p.m. on Monday, we're 100 in Texas, 101 in New Mexico, 99 Colorado, 95 in Kansas. We can see, but we're going to look at our heat index. So this is what our heat index could potentially look like for Monday. We can have heat index near 105 in parts of Oklahoma. We can see 100 in Kansas. We can see, then we can see over in the heat index in South Carolina. We could be near 100 in some spots. We can see 100, 104 in some parts of Texas. The heat index can be. We can see 102. We can see also on here. All right, so let's look at our temperatures again. So then 5 p.m. we can see our 5 p.m. 5 o'clock. We can see 4 p.m. 105 heat index in Oklahoma, 100 in Kansas. Let's see how humid it's going to be too. Also, real quick, we can see our dew points for this weekend. It's going to be really humid. See also more humid air will start to move in. We can see by the middle of next week, we can see dew points on Tuesday. Oh my God, look, this is what dew points are going to look like next Tuesday, guys. Look, dew points in the 70s. We can see really muggy. See humid, tropical for most this east and central. We can see it's going to be really humid and warm outside coming up soon. So Thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something new today. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. You'll never miss a video like this, guys. See you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.